Greetings to all. Beta, we have discussed in the class chapter 1 of history, class 7. The discussion is complete. Now we are going to start the question answers, some of the question answers of the chapter. Let us discuss some of the key points. The first, cartographer. So in the chapter we have discussed who is a cartographer? A person who makes maps. The second one is archive, a place where documents and manuscripts are stored or kept safely. Like we people have libraries these days, the same work is done with the archives. Next, habitat. It refers to the environment of a region and the social and economic lifestyle of its residents. Next, patron. It means an influential, wealthy individual who supports another person, an artist, a craftsperson, a learned man, or a noble. So these are some of the keywords. Next, let's start with the question answers. So first question, who was considered a foreigner in the past? So like we today talk about foreigner, a person who comes from another country, but in past it was not used in such a case. So a foreigner was any person, stranger who was not a part of that society or culture, means any person who was uh, not the part of that village, that society, that culture. He was a foreigner for the people, native people. Then other words used for a foreigner were Pardesi or Ajnavi. Next, a city dweller therefore was a stranger for a forest dweller. I think this is understood. Next, this is question number 4. Beta, take care. I have written the question number as it is written in the book, your history book. So don't change the number of the question. So you can match these questions with your book, history book. So this is question number 4. List some of the technological changes associated with this period. Some of the technological changes associated with this period were Persian wheel in irrigation. So this picture is given in the book also. So Persian wheels were started in using in irrigation. The spinning wheel in weaving. Then firearms in combat. Next question. What were some of the major religious developments during this period? Listen, in each question we are to write one introductory line. So the introductory line is, some of the major religious developments during this period were worship of new deities. So the deity word is given here, it means the gods and goddesses. Then construction of new temples by rulers, means the rulers, they started constructing new temples because these people, they wanted to show their power by construction of temples. Growing importance of priests, as soon as the construction of temples was started, they needed priests also, so the priests, they became very important. Then emergence of Bhakti movement. Holy Quran was brought to India. We have discussed in the chapter that the traders, they brought Holy Quran in India. Emergence of new groups within religions. I think this is understood. Emergence of new groups, like within one religion there were different groups, like in Hinduism we have Shaiv and Vaishnav. In Christianity there are Catholics and Protestants. So and in Islam also there are Shias and Sunnis. So in different religions there were groups within the religions, the same religion. Next is, in what ways has the meaning of the term Hindustan changed over the centuries? So we are going to discuss that how the term was changed over time. So in the 13th century, Minhaj Siraz, he was a chronicler, so used the term Hindustan for the areas of Punjab, Haryana, and the lands between the Ganga and Yamuna. In early 16th century, Babur used this term for the topography, flora, fauna, and culture of India. Next point, in the 14th century, Amir Khusro used the term in the same way Babur did in the 16th century. Next, how were the affairs of Jatis regulated? So, let's discuss. Jatis framed their own rules and regulations. So, we have discussed in the chapter. Then, the new Jatis emerged in the Varna system. We have, yes, I think about Varna also, you people know that there were 4 Varnas in our society: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Shudras. So these jatis emerged from these 4 varnas. These were based on the occupation of the people. Next point, these jatis, or the rules of these jatis, were enforced by Jati Panchayat. Means the Jati Panchayats, they managed to hold the rules and regulations of their concerned jatis. Next, jatis were to follow the rules of the village panchayats also. So these jatis were based on the occupation of the people. So this also we have discussed that like we people get the jati by birth, means in the family we are born, we get the same jati of our parents. So but early times it was based on occupation, means the son of a potter started working as a potter, then the son of a goldsmith became goldsmiths. The same work as the parents do, the children, they also started doing the same work. Next, the status of one jati vary from area to area, means the social status of the jatis was different from one area to another. Next, what does the term pan-regional empire mean? So pan-regional empire mean an area that spread over diverse regions or large areas, it means an empire that spread over a large area. And in second, we have written about example like Mughals, Cholas, they managed to build up a pan-regional empire, means the rulers of these dynasties set up their large kingdoms, their large empire, that came to be known as pan-regional empire. Next question, that is question number 9. What are the difficulties historians face in using manuscripts? In previous class also you have discussed about manuscripts. These were the handwritten records, and these were written on the palm leaves, etc. So what were the problems? See, first, scribes means the people who used to write the manuscripts. Scribes made changes in the text while writing. Like you people, if you take notebook from your friend, you make some changes while writing, you commit some mistakes also, sometimes you make your own sentences. So these kind of changes were made by the scribes also. Next, these small differences grew over time. Like one person copy from another, then the next generation did the same, then the next generation. So with the passage of time, these differences grew. Next, the same text became different from one another. So this also you understand, when the scribes, they started adding their own viewpoints, then the text became different. then we are completely dependent on the copies of the later scribes. Next, as a result, historians have to rely text to read different texts to know the reality. So historians, if they want to know about the some past period, then they have to read different text related to the same historical period. So it is a major difficulty. Next point, so the next question, that is how do historians divide the past into periods? Do they face any problem in doing so? Historians divide the history of India into three periods: Hindus, Muslims, and British. So this division was based on the religion of the rulers. I think Hindu period means all the rulers were Hindus. Then Muslims means all the rulers were Muslims. British, when the British started ruling India. So what were the problems? Such a division ignored the rich culture and heritage of the subcontinent. So what does it mean? That it ignored the religions and culture of the common people. So it is not right to divide periods on the basis of the religions of the rulers only. So this is all for today. If you have any question, any query, discuss with me in the classroom. Have a nice day.